Fantasy Philosophers is brought to you by fantasy-info.com.
If there's any hope for players like Matt Forte and Brandon Jacobs that fantasy owners can look to see that they can bounce back and have a good year, I guess you have to look no farther than Joseph Addai, who in 2008 was the biggest fantasy bust of the league that year. He was a mid-round pick in a lot of leagues, and he just was absolutely horrible. He had health issues, and he didn't look like the player he was the season before back in 07 when he had a really nice season. So he had a really big letdown, yet he did come out and put double-digit touchdowns on the board. He still didn't go over 1,000 yards rushing, but he was definitely a much more productive back in 2009 than he was in 2008. With Joseph, this is probably his final year with the Indianapolis Colts. He's in a contract season. Yard per carry average in his career under 4. That's not getting it done. They have a first-round pick from last year, Donald Brown. He's waiting in the wings. So we got to think that, okay, eventually here, Donald's going to take over and run the ball next year. And Joe's going to get the ball this year, but this is probably it for him. He's going to have to move on somewhere else because of the health concerns that he's had. And really, he hasn't been as effective as maybe you would have thought he could be with this team. But still, he makes for a really nice touchdown maker. He is clearly the touchdown man over Donald Brown. There's no doubt about that. When the team gets inside the 10-yard line, they love to look for Joseph to try to get some of those touchdowns, bang them home, and do those things for them. So he definitely carved that niche out for himself as a good touchdown maker. And 2 years before that, he was a good, solid touchdown maker. He had double-digit touchdowns that year as well. So we definitely can say that about him. He's going to get receptions. So if you're, PPR league, you're getting those extra points, he's going to definitely, they love to use their running backs underneath in the passing game. So he's going to get a lot of receptions, get some yardage there, and he will rack up probably, I would say probably around 850, 900 yards rushing. It's not going to probably be tremendous. I think Donald's going to get a little bit more work in this offense, so that's going to limit him just a little bit. But again, he still gets the touchdown. So keep those things in mind when you get into the point and you're looking for maybe a really, cheap number 2 running back for your team or a flex play option, which is really where you'd probably want to have this guy on your team.
For more fantasy football information, go to fantasy-info.com and sign up for our free e-newsletter. Good luck in your 2010 Fantasy Football League. As an added bonus, the Fantasy Info guys will include their 5 secret tips for success in fantasy football.